I was so close to reaching my dream, and then something went wrong. Usually I would just leap out of bed in the morning. I couldn't wait to get to work. And this day was just different. I felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds, like somebody was pushing me down into the mattress. I tried to open my eyes, but even my eyelids felt like they were glued shut. And I was just laying there wondering what's going on. Something is seriously wrong. The last thing I could recall was training with my skydiving team, Air Moves. I'd spent the last several years living in my van, eating out of a cooler, peanut butter and jelly 3 times a day, determined to be a world champion skydiver. And finally, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to start my own sponsored team. Part of the deal was that I got to pick the members of the team. And the first person I called was a kid named James Lane. I taught James to jump when he was 14, and by the time he was 16, he had over 1,000 skydives and was the most incredible flyer I had ever seen. And he was like a little brother to me. We spoke all the time about how someday we were going to go to the World Championships together. This was our chance, and I wasn't going to let it pass by for a second. I had been working towards a goal like this for years, but now was the first time that I truly felt like I had it in my grasp. And then something happened. I realized I was laying in bed, but I couldn't move. The only memory I had was something that seemed to have happened just minutes before then. I just found myself in free fall, and it was different. Usually free fall is fast and loud, but this was quieter, almost as if the wind was just suspending me and I wasn't descending through it at all. And I looked up and I saw James flying down to me. He had that usual playful smile on his face that he always had. And he said, "Danny, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You need to get back down there." And I asked him, "Are you coming with me?" He said, "No, I can't. But you need to get back down there. You have to get control of the situation." And he put his hand out the way we did when we were doing our team count. And then he started to fade from my grip and I started to descend. When I was finally able to open my eyes, I realized I'm in a hospital bed. The doctor came in. I asked him what had happened, and the doctor avoided that question, and he just told me what my injuries were. I'd been in a coma for nearly 6 weeks. I had a collapsed lung, a broken neck, cracked skull, a severe concussion, and crushed insides causing a lot of other internal injuries. He said ultimately he hoped I'd be able to return to a normal life, but I would absolutely never skydive again. My girlfriend came in and I asked her what had happened, and she dodged the question. I kept asking her, "What happened? How did I get here?" She still tried to avoid it. And I said, "I know James is gone. How's the rest of my team?" And she asked me, "How could you possibly know that?" And I said, "He just told me." And she told me at that point it was a plane crash.
16 people died when the plane went down.
There were 2 skydiving teams on board. One was a local team. They were practicing for the skydiving championships.
Most seriously injured was Dan Brodsky-Schenfeld, who suffered a...
It was just overwhelming, feeling myself just become way too anxious, realizing that I had just lost 16 friends. I just had to force myself to take a deep breath.
The situation is a tragedy, but I know they are all fighters, and I'm praying that they'll come through.
You have to get control of the situation. I thought a lot about what James meant by that. I believed he was warning me to the fact that I was about to wake up in a completely different world than the one I remembered. A world that was going to be filled with sadness and defeat and fear. There's so many times in life other people try to tell you what your limitations are. Try to tell you what you're capable of doing and what you should and shouldn't pursue. And they don't get to decide. James reminded me that prior to the crash, I had taken control of my life. I had found an activity that I loved, pushed myself to be the best I could possibly be at it, and set my sights on becoming the best in the world. Right then, I made the decision not to surrender to the constraints of my reality. You can continue to go after the World Championships with the same confidence and the same commitment that you have in the past.